On May 9th, 2022, life threw me a curveball, and everything came together. The moment happened in the middle of a typical afternoon. My partner, Vanessa, and I had flown into St. Louis from Boston, where we saw Nightwish, my favorite band, for the first time. We drove in my 2014 Dodge Grand Caravan from the St. Louis airport to my house in Illinois, on the other side of the Mississippi River. Our minds were focused on the future. We were looking forward to an early dinner and worrying about getting Vanessa to a family function later that day. But life had other plans for us. First, a semi-truck beside us on the I-70 freeway blew one of its tires right next to our passenger window. Vanessa thought a gun had gone off. She screamed and sank into the seat as if trying to avoid bullets. I remained calm and attentive to the road as bits of the blown-out tire came off and flew through the air, with a few hitting the passenger window and side of our van. Then, buckets full of chemicals used to clean up gas spills fell from a truck in front of us onto the highway, and suddenly the drive became a bouncing, bucket-filled obstacle course until the road hazards rolled away. We pulled off the interstate and into the parking lot of a familiar restaurant near home, but the restaurant was unexpectedly closed. Finally, as we left the restaurant with our minds on eating and approached a major intersection, a blue car accelerated, ran the red light, and T-boned a black truck right in front of us at the stoplight. Boom! The blue car was totaled. Its front end was completely smashed, and its windows were broken. The car's hood had crumpled like an accordion to absorb the impact. After that, everything moved in slow motion. The crash pushed the truck, a much bigger object than the chemical buckets, forcefully backward, causing it to awkwardly bounce toward us. Instinctively, I checked the rearview mirror, noticed no one was behind us, and then quickly put the van in reverse, trying to back up before the truck hit us. I wasn't completely successful. The truck was moving too quickly and hit our front bumper. I reversed enough, though, to limit the impact. The in-between moment. When the slow motion stopped, Vanessa and I got out of our car, and our priorities became very clear very quickly. What happened next felt pixelated. Each moment is etched in my mind. Everything went out of focus, except for what I needed to do. Assess the scene for safety, check on the drivers of the blue car and black truck, and call 911 or delegate it to someone else. Nothing else mattered during this in-between moment. What we were eating, Vanessa's tight schedule, or the freeway bucket fiasco. I felt a heightened sense of purpose. Immediately, a woman stepped out of the totaled blue car. She was clearly in shock. Her arm was bent and looked broken. Her leg was bleeding, and there were cuts on her head. Bits of smashed window glass fell from her as she staggered, one shoe missing, toward the center of the intersection. I'm not sure why she got out of the car so quickly or where she thought she was going. I'm not sure she knew either. Vanessa, a nurse, ran and caught the woman in the intersection before she fainted. I checked on the man in the truck, who seemed fine, though a little shaken up. At this point, a woman who'd pulled up behind us after the accident walked up and asked if she could help. I instructed her to call 911 and give me an update. I went back to Vanessa and the injured woman, who repeated over and over, "Call my husband! Call my husband!" The woman shouted out her husband's number, and I called him on my cell phone to convey what had happened, as Vanessa helped her to the ground, the pavement in the middle of the intersection. I then handed my phone to the woman. She talked to her husband briefly and let him know the situation was under control. The desperation in her voice, to hear her husband's voice, and the fact that speaking with him was all she thought about immediately following the accident, brought tears to my eyes, though my sunglasses concealed them.